In Germany in particular, and the same would be true for France, Spain, Italy, the big disadvantage of philosophy as it's done there is, in my view, that they mainly write about other authors. The students learn to read other texts, it doesn't matter whether Kant or Aquinas or Plato, and then they're taught to write essays and books about these texts. And they never get round to asking philosophical questions themselves and giving answers to these questions. And that is, in my view, just the biggest obstacle and the greatest, I think, flaw of philosophy in Germany as it's there now. It's getting better, in my view, but it's tragic that it happened. And Anglo-Saxon philosophy preserved more of the medieval university with its disputatio, where the question is asked and a claim is put forward and the counterposition or several alternative views are put forward. And it got lost in the Enlightenment, probably, where they stopped asking the question head on. And then, in particular in Germany, in the 60s, more or less, it happened for some reason that people stopped doing philosophy really, and they stopped putting forward claims. I think the opportunities are that in philosophy you are allowed to ask any philosophical question and defend any view which you want, including the Christian view, and then you can debate it with non-Christians. And that means that philosophy always gives us this enormous space of seeking the truth. And we can always invite people to that and say, we don't want to sell anything. It's not that we don't do this for our sake. It's just that we happen to believe that, and we have experienced that, and we want to share that. But it's not, we want to convince people only with arguments. We don't want to use irrational means. Well, I think in academia, Christians in general, and also Christian philosophers, have to face all this situation where many things are not deemed to be legitimate positions anymore, and where positions are deemed immoral, and where people are not allowed to speak anymore, and where you have safe spaces, and where you need to use certain pronouns in order to be acceptable, and otherwise you are considered evil. I think Christians need to, and philosophers need to think very hard how to react to that and how to change that.